A warm welcome back to Stone Valley for episode 29 with me, MrSealyp. It's just gone 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I took a day off. I don't do that very often. Haven't done it for a while. It's been over 24 hours. A full 24 hours since I recorded anything or edited anything. I haven't been onto my comments. I haven't checked anything on YouTube. I had a full 24 hours off, which, yeah, it feels very strange. I haven't done that in a long time. So any comments that people left from the previous episode while I'm recording this, I haven't checked any of them. So apologies if something I say or do might be something you've suggested or mentioned, or if I don't respond to something you have suggested or mentioned, I apologise. I say I haven't been on there. Yeah, I say it feels very odd. We are about to embark on a major upgrade, a kind of, not an overhaul of the farm exactly. Yeah, it's kind of an upgrade, I suppose. What I'm going to do, you're not going to need to see. I'm going to get rid of a couple bits of equipment, only small bits. This is what I was talking about before. What I normally do when I get to there is just start to unfold it, get it low enough to get it under there, and then fold it back up again, because it keeps catching on the door. I could just put it in the higher barn over there, which would make more sense, wouldn't it? Yeah, I'm going to cut some grass. You'll see why. I've been talking a lot about the next kind of livestock that I'm going to go for, and I mentioned about sheep, I mentioned about pigs. Whoa, what happened there? Oh, okay. Yeah, so I mentioned about both. I said pigs, I said sheep, and then I said, I might do chickens, and a lot of people said sheep are still well worth doing. On a big enough scale, I think so. Chickens are very underestimated. I'm not going to go down the pig route at the moment, but I am going to do the other two. That's right, I'm going to do both. First thing I'm going to do, while I'm just getting this ready, is I'm going to buy a plot of land. I did kind of mention it, and I'm going to get plot 9. Now, again, I've been all around the houses on different ideas. Like I say, this plot here was suggested 2021-23. I was going to buy plot 19. Then I thought, okay, well, I could put chicken coops down the bottom here on my field 35, which will fit. Then the other day I thought, oh, I could buy field 2. If I buy field 2 as a kind of expansion, I could then put chickens and sheep and stuff up here at field 3, right next to all the rest of it. So all my livestock's in one place. So the ground I take up here, I then gain by buying a new field. That was an option. But I have decided on field 9. And as I mentioned before, I know it's not a perfect split. It's not rectangular. It's not, but I don't mind. This section here I'm going to be using for the new animal pastures. This section here is going to be an expansion of field 17. So once the soybean harvest is done on field 17, I'm going to plough out the gap between. I'm going to prepare all this section here, and it will be a kind of slightly odd shape, of course it will. What I'm going to do is, where I don't put animal pastures down here, I'm going to grass the rest of this strip, which means I'll have grass on 8 and part of 9, which means I am going to free up 7. So what I haven't got crop on, which if I do that, I'm having these weird problems again. It only happens every now and again with the menus disappearing on the right hand side. What I am going to do is go back to how I was before. I'm going to plough that out, plough the grass back under, cultivate the grass back under, extend that out so 6 and 7 are one big field. I'll have 8, and the rest of this bit here will all be grass. So that's kind of where we're going. So it's a bit of a change. There's a bit of work that's going to need doing. I'm going to start on the mowing, because if we're going to get sheep, they're going to need grass. So I'm going to cut that now. Should have left that up. I probably would have got through there with them down actually, but what I do need to make sure I do though is put this on swath dropping, so the rear mowers, make sure I do that. There we go, so that should now swath drop. Any grass I don't need immediately will then be stored, and I've got plenty of grass then for feeding the sheep moving forward. I've got a water butt just here so I can get my water for them. That's another reason why I thought I'd do them right by here. Now as far as the chickens go, I've got nothing to feed them yet. I was hoping for a job to come up. Now field 2 over there has got barley in it. That hasn't come up as a contract yet for harvesting because it's not ready to harvest, but when it does I'm going to take that contract on. So I'll do the barley harvest, then any surplus I will keep, and that I will use for feeding the chickens. That's the plan. So sheep will come in first and then the chickens will follow. As for what pens I'm using, again that's going to be something a little bit different, because, and I know this is one of those things that a lot of people still mention whenever I do my mod reviews and stuff, why do I keep going on about slots? And I'll be honest, this is one of the first maps in a long time that I've got really close to the slot count. Now this map is not a horrendously high slot count in the first place, it's not. In fact it's pretty good, I'll be honest, it's not bad at all. But because the amount of machinery, because it's big machinery, it's big fields, and I've duplicated a few things on purpose to keep that down. So my machinery issues aren't issues, they shouldn't be. But I'm still up there. I've got 12.99 to play with, and I think I'm at 1.135 or something, so I'm not that far off. A few little bits here and there are going to make a massive difference. So that's what I'm going to have to be very careful of at the moment. Let's just turn that off, turn that off. Very nice indeed. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. So while the grass is being cut, I'll sort out getting contractors in. We'll get the pens put in. The thing with that is they're not, you know, unlike building a cow barn or something like that, it's not going to be major construction. You know, some fencing for the chickens and you'll see when I do it. I'm going to explain as well why I've gone for the ones I've gone for. That will become obvious as well. Right, I'm getting some fertiliser down on field 9. Some of the buildings, well, the buildings are in, a bit of landscaping's been done. I had a bit of some peculiar issues with the ground was fairly flat, and I did some adjustment, and when I placed all of them, it raised every single one up. It was a bit odd, but anyway, I've done a bit of landscaping, got a bit of landscaped turf down, so I've had some turf input in. And the rest of the field, or the rest of this side of the field, I'm going to seed with grass, which means it's going to have to grow. Again, not too much of a problem. You can kind of see it's all off there in the distance. We'll get to that in a minute. But the rest of field 9, I'm going to get some fertiliser down now. No, I don't know. I don't think it's been ploughed at any point. The half I'm doing now, or this bit I'm on, I'm not going to plough because that's just going to be grass. I'm not too bothered about that. This side I might well get the plough on it ready for when I expand field 17 into this. That way at least I know it's had its ploughing state done and it won't be an issue then. I might have to sort of leave the area and come back again, if you know what I mean, simply because the menu situation is a little bit, it's got a little bit squiffy at the moment, so I'm not too sure what's happening with that, but we'll sort that out. The mowing's going absolutely fine on the Magnum. I'm not having any issues with the worker. It's going backwards and forwards. It's going across that little gap in the field. Again, no worries at all. So that's all as it should be. This is going to make a massive difference. Hang on. Whoa. That's better. Yeah, I just think, we'll expand out multi-stock, we'll call it. Not just livestock, multi-stock. So we're going to have, cows, sheep and chickens. With enough chickens... Oh, that's what I was going to say. Yeah, the actual things themselves. So if we go across to our animal pens, the chicken coops, I went for 2 of these, the large chicken coops. Now I looked at all different manufacturers, all different companies that come in and supply them. Prices varied, amounts of chickens that could be kept varied. For 40 grand, 400, I've got 2 of those, so we can have up to 800 chickens. That's going to be massive. Plus, again, I know I keep going back, slot count was 10, I think, for the first one. And then the second one drops down to 1. So that, to me, or was it 4? It was tiny. It might have only been 4 slots that it required, actually, which was absolutely tiny. But what I have gone for is the open sheep pastures here. Another reason for those, the slot count for the first one was 19, up there, but then subsequently drops down to 1. So I'm sure I got 3, I didn't get 4. But only 21 grand, 110 sheep in each, so I've got the potential for 330 sheep, which is going to be more than enough than we need. Well, I think it's going to be more than enough. So for 60 grand, 63 grand, we've got potential for 330 sheep. Now again, there are loads of manufacturers available, there are loads of different ones available. Having the open sheep pastures, are the sheep likely to wander off, are they going to go on the road, do I need to put fencing around them? Potentially at the moment, no. In the real world, would they wander? Yeah, because if I put that in the middle of a normal field that had boundaries but way off, that wouldn't be an issue. Obviously this is a far more open map, so there is always that risk that they could wander, but in all honesty, I'm okay with it. I might hire a shepherd or shepherdess just to keep an eye on them, keep them from straying. But that's what I've gone for. But as you can see, slot count 1163 out of 1299. I'm up there. I'm definitely up there. It's a bit of a worry, actually, because I think we're going to hit that point. If I do any contracts where I borrow equipment, that could easily push me right up towards the limit. But again, we'll see how it all pans out. All good. Next step, grass. Like I say, I've got some turfed sections down because I want to get animals in there as soon as possible. The rest of it should just be grassed as normal with seed, and then that will grow. Please don't turn around, keep going. There we go. So that will then give me more grass and I can lose it from the other side. So that's the next step. We'll get that in. Once that's in, I can get a second fertilising state on top of that if I want to, which I should do really. That will get maximum yield off that then. And I'm using the smaller planter, cedar, simply because it's an odd shape, and in certain parts of it it's going to be difficult getting into the corners, and I think using the massive Paralink hoe drill, it's going to be too big for doing this, but for the time being this will do it, and it doesn't matter then. Once it's done, it will just keep growing, so I haven't got to worry. That's what I'm doing next. I've sent over one of the lorries up at the store picking up a livestock trailer, and then we'll go and we'll get our sheep. Like I say, the chickens won't be yet. The chicken pens have been put in, but until I've got stuff to feed them, there's no point in me getting them. So I'm going to wait until we can pick up that contract for the barley field and barley harvest on field 2, and when I've done that, then we'll get the chickens. So it'll be sheep on this one, and then chickens on the next one. The cows are ticking over very nicely, and they're making us money from their milk. I still haven't sold any manure yet. I might bring a load of manure over to... I'll wait until I've got enough for like a full trailer, and then I think I'll bring a load over and sell it at the biogas plant. But as it stands at the moment, I'm using it for the farm shop, so it would be a bit kind of counterproductive to sell it all and then realise I haven't got enough then to put into the manure bins for the greenhouses. So I think overnight last night, I forgot to show that. I think I made about 7.5 grand on the greenhouses. I'm sure that's what it said. But anyway, yeah, so it's not too bad. I haven't really done anything with, the placeables where you earn money, where you used to every hour the money would go on. At what point, it must have been one of the updates recently, that now only happens at midnight, the same as it does with the biogas plant, that any placeables you've got that earn you money, you only get paid that at midnight. I didn't know that was a thing anymore. I know when I did one of the map tours and something, I said I don't understand it. I skipped time. I'm not making any money. A lot of people commented and said, "Oh, yeah, you get paid at midnight." I thought, when did that start happening? But then I say I'm just trying to think the last time I used a placeable where you earned money per hour. I can't think. Solar panels. Well, I suppose on Homokra, but right, mowing's done. So we can start collecting that as well. Bit of multitasking. But so I'll go and get that started, and I'll carry on seeding here. Back at it again with the milling machine. This time it's grass, and the good thing is, because the swaths are a lot smaller, I can go quite a lot faster, which will make life a little bit easier. I'm not going to, once the grass has been taken off this, I'm only going to fertilise half the field, because like I said, the other half I'm going to put that back to arable, because that's now seeded, or that bit's now seeded for grass. So yeah, this section that I'm on now will go back to being arable, and 6 and 7 will become one long field. I'm just going to prep the feed first. I'm going to get a load off the field, put some into storage and get one full trailer load, and then I'll go and get the animals. As long as I've got enough to put the first load of feed in, then I can come back and collect the rest off this field off camera, or whenever I want to really. But it just makes sense to, generally speaking, whenever I'm doing animals, I will always prep the feed and store, or whatever I'm going to do, however I'm going to do it, before I buy the animals. I know some people buy the animals first, then proceed to sort the feed out. I've never done that way around, but each their own, however you want to go about it. And also, the amount we've had off this, it was well worth seeding. And when you think about if you seed any field for a crop, we planted this field, or we seeded it, we put the grass in, we did get a massive yield off of it, and we're getting a second yield off of it now. So if you treat it as a crop as such, which technically it is, we've done a right out of it. It doesn't matter that I'm going to plough it or cultivate it back under, and then I'm just going to put another crop in it. So I'm just viewing it as a crop rather than a grass, I suppose. Now I could have come along with a windrower and windrowed these up into bigger rows and had less of them. Again, it's that, especially using the milling machine, at the moment I can run at about, well, I think I was running at 18 a minute ago. I can run at 18 with them on small swaths, but just have more swaths to collect, or windrow them up into less swaths, but then have to run slower because it can't pick them all up. Again, so it just becomes a, whichever you'd rather do. Up at the livestock market, I have got a full load. We just spent 162,000 on sheep. I think this holds 108. I just kept clicking until it was full. We've gone for blue-faced Leicester. They are a dual-purpose long-wool breed of sheep, introduced into the US in the early 1980s, from what I've been looking up online. So that's what we've gone for. Their wool is very fine, apparently. Yeah. There are 3 different Leicester breeds, and the blue-faced Leicester has the finest wool of the 3, so that's what we've done. I'm going to put, because I've got 3 pens, but they're all kind of back to back because they're the open ones, which kind of allows you to do that. You can actually put them fairly close together. I'm going to put, if this takes 108, I'm going to put 54 in each pen, so I will come back and get another 54. So each pen has got room for growth, so as we get new births, new animals, there's room for expansion. I was thinking about filling up 2 of them and having the 3rd one for expansion, but then that would mean buying a livestock trailer to be able to move them between, whereas this way I've got room for expansion in each pen. Just thought I'd do it that way. No, I'd say no real reason. That is the reason. That's, just makes more sense. I do still have all that silage I need to sell at the biogas plant. I was looking for the milling machine. I went to collect the grass up and I could not for the life of me remember where I put it. So this is probably the first time looking at it in a little bit more detail. The chicken pens are at the front here. Like I say, we'll come to the chickens at a later date, but the pens are in, they are built. We've got a little bit of a concrete slab just opposite the entrance to the farm. I've got 1 full load of grass there ready to give to the sheep. I've got the water tanker there next to the water tank. We'll fill that up so we can give them their water. I'm pretty sure, I'm pretty sure, I'm not pretty sure at all. It's been a long while since I kind of looked at these and reviewed them. As you can see, like, the turfing has been done. I've got the 3 pastures back to back, so all the troughs are in the centre, so when it comes to feeding and watering, that's going to make life a little bit easier. Unloading, I think, is here, isn't it? Sure it is. It is. And look, who's made a welcome return? That's right. Jeremy is back in the house. Has been a little bit of time in quarantine. I wasn't quite sure when he was coming out of quarantine, so I couldn't say whether he was coming or not, but Jeremy is back. If you don't know who Jeremy is, you might have to go back through some of the Let's Plays. Jeremy has made an appearance in quite a few Let's Plays. I'm looking after Jeremy in between farms. He goes and has fun elsewhere, but for the moment, he's back. So I've got to count these. I think that's 54. Now, as you can see, they're wandering on the bits that obviously the grass has got to grow, but they will wander, and that's good. There you go. Look, Jeremy on his own. So the 3 pens should mix together now. And if I've counted correctly, I really hope I've counted correct. I had real nightmare, didn't I, in that other episode when I was getting extra cows. Blimey, I just went to pieces. Yes, 54 in that one, 53 and 1, it's Jeremy. So I've got my 54 in each. I'm going to go and get another 54 for the 3rd pen. And then we'll sort out feed. And we'll sort out their water, and then we should start getting wool. Oh, this is going to look absolutely, because you've got the 3 of them together. Normally when you put a load in, you get a maximum amount per pen will be shown. Even if the pen holds 400, visually you'd only get maybe 20 or whatever it is. But doing it this way, there will be a whole load all kind of clustered together, which is right. I like that. These open pastures are from the manufacturer Foo Farmer, so if you're looking for them, Foo Farmer, there are some new ones coming out soon with a clever little, well, you'll see when they come out. I will look at them in a little bit more detail and explain. I do chat to Foo Farmer quite a bit. So another 54, back in a moment. The next 54 going in, I've gone for a different breed. I've gone for Suffolks. Black-faced, black-legged, introduced into the US in 1888 according to the interweb. It does say the Suffolk is one of the most popular breeds in the US. It is the most popular sire of market lambs and one of the preferred breeds for producing club lambs. Suffolks are one of the largest breeds in the US. Their lambs grow fast and produce well-muscled carcasses. They are attractive breeds with bare black legs and head and legs. So that's what we're going for. So, blue-faced Leicesters and Suffolks. These ones will go into this pen here, won't they? So they should be distinguished. I mean, we may get that situation every now and again. There you go, as you can see. Black legs, black faces. I hope I've counted correctly. We should have 54. We'll see how this pans out. It doesn't matter if we're 1 or 2 over or under. It's not the end of the world. And in. There we go. Ooh. Oh, they are a bit close to the road there, aren't they? We are going to have to keep an eye on them. I think. I don't know, I just like the idea of that kind of open plan thing. We'll see how it all pans out. Anyway, so let's have a... What happened there? Let's have a check. Yep, 54. There we go. So, 54 in each pen. They're going to now need feeding and watering. So what we'll do is pull this over into the yard. Let's get some grass in, get some water in, and then we can start producing wool. As far as transporting it goes, that's a good point actually. I haven't got a flatbed trailer, have I? Oh dear, that's more expense and more slottage. I did have the flatbed trailer that I could use for doing bales, and then I got rid of it because I thought I'm not going to do that again. Right, what we'll do is we'll get that filling up with water from the water tank. Turn that off, get in that, and let's give it some feed. Now there's grass around and there'll be far more, but as you know they need something. It could be grass or hay. I'm going to give them grass because it's, you know, it's easier to produce, quicker to produce. Troughs around the side. Apologies if I run over any. There are quite a lot of them right on top of each other, so what we'll do, swing around there, back up. And again, the first fill is going to be the one that takes the most, and then after that it will just be topping up. I could probably do with getting a smaller trailer as well, couldn't I? Just something, you know, for doing this kind of topping up feed, and they're going to take quite a lot, aren't they? I may not have collected enough. Oh no, okay, that's alright. Look, Jeremy's having a great old time, look. The one brown sheep amongst them all. Oops, might have just damaged the trough, but I'm sure no one noticed. That's nice to have something else. I know that the cows, I'm going to hopefully keep increasing those. We'll see how we get on with those, but having another type of animal is great. The chickens are very easy to look after. They just need feed. They don't need water or anything, and then it's just collecting the eggs. And having the sell point, the eggs pay out very well at some of the various different placeable sell points. So we can do well out of those. Although I'm also now thinking I'm going to need to look for maybe a skid steer loader or something, because my wheel loader's over at the dairy or the cow farm. If I need something for clearing up feed and stuff on the ground here, I don't want to be bringing that backwards and forwards every 5 minutes, do I? Yeah, if I can find one that's fairly low on the old slot count, we should be alright. I've got a bit to play with, just not a huge amount unfortunately at the moment. Let's get some more though. That's fine. And then we'll get the water in. Nice. I did put 2 full loads of 70,000 litres into the silo, so we've got 140,000 sitting there. But there's still a load on the field, which I will, like I say, I'm going to collect that off screen. I will go and get a load of that. This trailer needs seriously washing. No, not fertiliser, thank you. Grass, there we go. That's probably what I'm going to need. Won't need much more than that. It's interesting how the landscape can change so dramatically by adding a few things in. And with the landscaping thing as well, you know, it really does I don't know why it always surprises me, but you kind of look across, you get so used to playing on a certain farm, on a certain area, and you're backwards and forwards and doing jobs, and you do something like this, and all of a sudden everything changes. And when you drive down the road, you're like, oh yeah, you know, I forgot I did that, and that looks so different to how it did when we first came on, or, you know. And that is still, for me, the beauty of the new version of the game, you know, 19. I know it's not a new version, it's 2 years old, it's coming up. But that ability to, even if everyone's playing on the same map, even if everyone played on the same map, with that ability to change it, you can pretty much bet most, if not all, everyone's maps would be different in some way, which I think that's great. It allows for a little bit of individuality. So, water next. We'll get that in. Then I'll go and finish collecting the grass. Then I'm going to plough the bottom part of field 9. Actually, I'm just going forward a bit. Yeah, the bottom part of field 9, or the bit that's just above field 17, or next to field 17. I will plough. Let's go across and have a look. So, yeah, this section I will plough. And then what I will do is sort out the cultivating of this section of field 7, which at the moment is separate. But once the grass is picked up, I'll get that done. And then, yeah, like I say, we'll wait on field 2. Once that's ready to harvest, we'll get our barley. Once we've got the barley collected, we'll get our chickens. Fantastic, right. Can I turn that around without a jackknife in it? Should be right. Now we'll get the water in. Of all the locations, it kind of made sense to have it here or next to the dairy farm, simply because I've got a water source here, I've got a silo here that I can store stuff in. So if I can either cut grass directly and just feed it to them once I've cut it, bang, collect it, feed it, or put it into the silo there, and then I'm not driving miles across the map to where my animals are. Again, that's just a personal preference, because some people like that, you know, that journey across the map. It depends what kind of storyline you're going for, depends what your narrative is, depends if you're running separate farms and the premise is that you are going to collect feed or deliver feed or something to another farm. It depends how you want to go about it. Right, if I back up a bit, the trigger did come up for the other one, didn't it? As I drove past. That may not work now. Let's try and swing around that way. Nope. Too many sheep. Too many sheep. Ah! It's carnage. There we go. Fill that one up. And on to the other one. Cool. I've taken on a contract for canola harvest on field 30. That will be done at a later date. This will go over to the dairy farm again in a moment. It's a nice enough size that I can fill it up, and for topping up I should just be able to bounce between the three, especially on the back of a lorry. It won't take long to get wherever we need to go. Right, that needs to go back. Need to disconnect that. That's what I'm going to do. Just give this a bit of a wash first. Then we'll hook up back up to the Magnum. We'll get back out and collect our grass. Apologies if this is a slightly shorter episode. In the UK, it's a bank holiday today, Bank Holiday Monday, It's an ancient tradition going back. I don't know how long it goes back. Anyway, yeah, the banks are closed. We get a few of them every year, but this is the August bank holiday, or one of. Do we get 2 in August? I'm trying to think when we get 2. Sometime we get 2. So yeah, I've got stuff I'm going to be doing with the family. I don't know. I assume Giants. I don't think Germany has a bank holiday the same time we do in the UK. So chances are there'll be mods later on. But I have got a few bits and bobs I'm going to be getting on with. So yeah, whether there'll be a mod review or not, I don't know. It's going to depend. But we have come to the end of this episode. So sheep are now in. Chickens will be coming. I've got a couple of little contracts to pick up here and there, and I'm waiting on the contract on Field 2. I'm imagining the contract on Field 2 is probably going to be ready exactly the same time that all of our soybean fields are ready to harvest, which is not going to be much of a surprise. Milling machine's out there. We'll go and grab that. I'll grab the grass, put that away. I might make a start on the bits of ploughing I need to off screen, or I might do a little bit of a time lapse for the start of the next one. I don't know. I haven't really decided how I'm going to go about that yet. But yeah, again, we are moving forward. We are expanding. We are, branching out into other areas. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.